Hey everyone, welcome to Booster Tutor. I'm Brandon, and we're almost there. Hour of Devastation pre-release is almost here, and we're almost done with this little series here. We're on the green today. We're going to talk about top 10 commons on commons, then a little bit rare and mythic talk afterwards. So let's get started with number 10, Quarry Beetle. 4 in a green for a 4/5 insect. When it enters the battlefield, you may return target land card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Alright, so 5 mana for a 4/5 is fine. I mean, not really exactly Aces the vanilla test, but, you know, it's playable. And its ability gets land back from the graveyard to the battlefield. That's nice. Don't know if you're really going to need it too much when you already have 5 mana, but if you have like some desert shenanigans, that could be good. So, it's very situational, but it's also just a playable card on its own, so that's why it's number 10. Number 9, Rampaging Hippo. 4 green for a 5/6 Hippo with trample and cycling 2. 6 mana for a 5/4 trampler. I'll take that any day. Late game, that's great. Just, you know, running over everything, getting some damage in. Early game, just cycle away for 2 if you need some lands or something else. You know, just always gonna play it. Not gonna play multiple usually, but definitely at least 1. Number 8, Hooktender. 1 in a green for a 2/2 human druid. Pay 1 tap, untap target land. Pay 1 tap, exert it, untap 2 target lands. Alright, this one, it's so close. 2 mana for a 2/2, that's fine. Its ability is basically just filtering land, or not even that, because you're just paying an extra to untap a land, so I don't know. Doesn't matter, it's all about the exert ability. It's actually mana ramp whenever you pay 1 and then untap 2 lands, so it's mainly for that. That's why it's not higher. Usually mana dorks are just like way higher for me, but this one, that paying 1 just to untap a land, don't like it. But still playable at a 2/2 that can untap 2 lands. So, number 7, Oasis Ritualist. 3 in a green for a 2/4 Naga Druid. Tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Tap, exert, add 2 mana of any 1 color to your mana pool. That's more like it. Tap it, add any color, so it's mana fixing and mana ramp. Tap it, exert, you get 2 mana, so it's very ramp and very fixing. I mean, I should say mana fixing. Only problem with this is it's 4 mana. It's a 2/4, which blocks well, but a 4 mana dork, that's a little too costly, but it is sealed. Games go long, sometimes you need mana fixing. Like I said, if it maybe costs 3 or 2, it'd be a little bit higher, but at 4, but still very playable. Number 6, Bitterbow Shooters. 4 in a green for a 4/4 Jekyll Archer with Vigilance and Reach. 5 mana for a 4/4? No, that's not very good. It's fine, but it's not very good. Vigilance and Reach, that's going to block for days. I like that. That's just like, that comes down and you're just like, oh, really, man? Like, how am I supposed to get through that? You're not. That's the point. So, that's why it's number 6. Number 5, Sifter Worm. 5 green for a 7/7 worm with trample. When there's a battlefield, scry 3, then reveal the top card of your library. You gain life equal to that card's converted mana cost. Oh man, this is a beater late game. That's why it's so good and sealed. 7 mana for a 7/7 with trample. Yikes. And then you gain could maybe gain a ton of life. I mean, it depends on what you scry. Ooh, really like this card. That's just like, if you're behind and you play this, you're pretty much going to be ahead then. So, yeah. Number 4, Devotee of Strength. 2 in a green for a 3/2 Naga Wizard. Pay 4 in a green. Target creature gets +2/+2 until end of turn. 3 mana for a 3/2. That's always fine. That ability, though, 5 mana to pump any creature for +2/+2. Late game, that's so good and sealed. Multiple times it's going to be a little bit harder, but could be doable. Yeah, I like the thread of activation on that. You attack, and you just have that sitting there with 5 mana. They're like, well, which one's he going to pump? Is he going to pump this one to kill my creature? Is he going to pump this one so I get more damage in? I mean, whew, we like this card. Number 3, Tenacious Hunter. 2 green for a 4/4 Crocodile. As long as a creature has a -1/-1 counter on it, Tenacious Hunter has Vigilance and Death Touch. What? 4 mana for a 4/4 with Vigilance and Death Touch, basically. Because, I mean, if you're playing green, you're usually going to have something with a -1/-1 counter on it. That is amazing. Like, just attack, hey, he's still like a block, and he's going to kill something because it's Death Touch. Doesn't matter. Ooh, really like that card. That's why it's number 3. Number 2, Overcome. 3 green for sorcery. Creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain trample until end of turn. Mwah! Baby Overrun. Well, over jaunt. Yeah, no. I always love Overrun in any kind of limited. Just like makes your entire army just gigantic, a threat, just can kill outright. Problem is, if you're ahead, you're more ahead. If it's a stall board, that's where it's the best, because then, you know, you're going to break that stall. If you're behind drawing this, not usually the best. But still, the fact that this can just outright win you games, like, most of the time, that's why it's number 2. I love this card. And our number 1 green common or uncommon, Ambuscade. 2 and a green for an instant. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power to target creature an opponent controls. All right, talking about that being behind. If you're behind, this helps. As long as you have a creature, of course. But like, if you're ahead, you're killing something, you know, that they have, doesn't really matter. If it's a stall board, you're going to kill something and then maybe attack because, hey, you got rid of one of their blockers. If you're behind, you know, you play on your creature, you get rid of one of theirs, maybe now you're at parity. Just works so well. And the fact it's not fight, it's just you deal damage to it. It means your creature doesn't take any damage. So good. Very good. Playing any green deck. Okay, now let's talk about those rares and mythics. Hour of Promise. Nope. You're going to pay 5 mana just to get 2 lands? I don't think so. That's not a good investment in mana. And the fact you have to have 3 deserts just to get the second ability, that's not going to happen in sealed. Sorry. Majestic Myriarch. Ooh, this one. A 5 mana for a star. And if you have no other creatures, it's just a 2/2 with no abilities because you need other creatures to give it abilities. So really, this is deck dependent. I mean, you have to make sure you have something with flying or death touch or vigilance or any other ability. If you don't, which is very hard not to, then yeah, you don't put this in your deck. If you have like a very heavy creature deck, which you should in sealed and for green, then yeah, you probably run this. I'm just saying be wary. It's not, you know, balls out great. It's just, you know, very deck dependent. Pride Sovereign. Oh, okay. So sadly, you have to be green-white for this, but easily splashable. And if you do, it makes a whole clouder and it becomes bigger. So you're paying 1 white, exerting it, making 2 cats with lifelink. He becomes bigger by 2. Really good card if you can play. So just make sure. And I think you could splash 1 white for it if you're like 2 other colors. Ramunap Hydra. Okay, so 4 mana for a 3/3 doesn't sound that great, but look at all those abilities. We got Vigilance, Reach, Trample, and then if you have any deserts, it becomes, you know, just bigger. Really like this card. Would play it in any green deck, even if I didn't have any deserts. But if you do, ooh, that's nice. Rona's Last Stand. Now, usually I don't like these cards that don't untap, but this one, I mean, green for a 5/4. Yeah, I'm still going to play that. I mean, that's just so efficient on mana. 2 mana for a 5/4. Take a turn off. I mean, I'm not going to do anything better probably than to make a 5/4 for 2. Resilient Kinra. Hey, 2 mana for a 2/2 that pumps something. That's pretty good, but then it has Eternalize, so it pumps something by 4 then. I mean, this guy's good early game. He's good late game. I'd play him. He's not like a bomb, but he's very efficient, and you're going to run him in any green deck. And lastly, we have a Mythic, Uncaged the Menagerie. Yeah, no, that's just not going to work in sealed. It's just too hard to get an efficient use of this. I mean, if you pay 4, you're getting 2 2/2s that have different names, and I mean, that's not really that great. And then just to have enough creatures with the same incurred mana cost, it's just too hard sealed. So don't even do it. All right, there we go. Rares and Mythics. Actually, pretty good for green. I like a lot of those cards. Yeah, so next, we got 1 more to go, and we're all done. If you want to follow me on Twitter, booster_tutor, and see you next draft.